Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam Maharaj.
Haribol, Dandavad, Supa Devi ki jai. Jai.
Dandavad.
Nanda Prabhu ki jai. Nanda Tiri ki
Jai
jai.
Gurudev.
Bhagavati Tiri ki jai. Vedarshana Devi. Yatma Devi ki jai. Haribol.
Haribol, Maharaja. Srila Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj ki
Jai.
Prima Kecha Prabhu ki
Jai.
How's everybody today? All good?
Yes, Maharaja, for grace the Guru and Vaishnava, Lord Supreme.
Very cold in Spain. Very cold.
Cold? Yes.
Yes.
Dandavad, Bhakti Linda.
Dandavad Maharaj, devotees, Krishna Kadava. I can't pronounce your name. Dandavad.
Dandavad.
Dandavad, all of you in Spain.
Dandavad, Didi.
Yeah.
Want to go to Vandanam? Today, now we're over Kartik, so we'll go back to chanting our Vandanam prayers.
Okay, okay. Okay.
Vandeham
Shri Guru
Shri
Yuta Parakamal. Shri Guru Vaishnava.
Shri
Sripad Sagrada Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna
Om
Sri Gurudeva Manata. Sriyacharya Vajjapniya. Purakam. Suganaishi Bhushita. Samasta Vedanam. Sirupa.
Govinda Devam Shri
Shri
Siddhanta
Saraswati Piritu Gauriya Kutambaye Matonu Bhagavata Gani Gaura Sankirtane Bhavana Dimikilodara Ratu Vidya Jivanima Krishna Prema Shuvarigaha Shukam Prada Prabhutam Bhaje
Namo
Gauraki Sunaya
Bhakta
Bhakta Bhavanta Murtaye Gaurani Padmarigaya Radha Bhavani Sevine
Bhante Bhakti
Bhante Bhakti Nodam Sri Gaura Sakti Swarupatam Bhakti Sastranja Samprayam Radharasa Shudanini Gaura Brayatita Sheshai Vaishnavya Vigraham Sadanam Bhakti Premadi Virga Vaishnava Vanchakalpatyasha Kripa Sindhuya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Panchatatmaka Krishna Bhaktarupa Swarupaka Bhaktaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Saktikam
Namo
Namo
Maharanjaya Krishna
Krishna Prema Prayate
Krishna
Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namaste Namaha Yayatam Surakalpango Mama Madhavate Gati Matsarvasma Paramao Radha Mohana Divya Priyantya Kalpadrumakha Primarangana Shipkas Nastav Sirastava Siragovinda Devao Prestami Se Manami Smarami Rasarasami Rasarasita Karsapeno Hare Gopi Gopinatas Yestuna Vindayai Tulasi Deviyai Priyayai Kesavasyacha Krishna Bhakti Pradevi Satyavajai Namo Namaha Atanantamanta Gurum Bhagavata Yasatyagar Gurum Nama Tato Yaya Mudirahe
Joy Saparika
Jaya Saparikara Sisi Guru Gaura Gandharva Govinda Sundar Padamanja Yastu
Sri
Sri
Krishna
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sira Vaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare
Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev, Srila Bhakti Santa Maharaj, Ki Jai.
Jai
Govardhan Ki Jai.
Jai
Veda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai.
Jai
The assembled devotees, glory to the worldwide devotees. Gaur Premanandi, Hari.
Hari Bol.
I am Vishnupad Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai
Jai Pragya Ki Jai.
Jai.
Dhanyavad, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, my respectful obeisances to you. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandvat Pranam Maharaj.
Dhanyavad. So back to Prapanna-jivanamrtam today. Jayo Vishnupad, Paramahamsa, Parivrajacharya, Astutara Sata, Sri Srimad Bhakti, Rakshak Dev-Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Prapanna,
Jai.
Jai We're in chapter 5. Yes, chapter 5, text 8. Confidence of the Lord's protection. One who is a confidant of the Lord, a confidant of Lord Krishna, means a friend who has some intimate relation, confidant, confidence. The word confidence comes from the word confidant. Confidant means someone who is very intimate. So a devotee is always very intimate, has a very intimate connection with Krishna, has a love, love, an exchange of love between Krishna and his devotees there, called confident. So this chapter is about confidence in the Lord's protection. One who has Krishna as his friend, as his confidant, then he always feels protected. What can we say, huh? Can anyone do anything that God doesn't allow? If you have a good friend like God, then you're invincible. And there's no fear. So this confidence in the Lord's protection is very important. Only possible for one who has a confidential relationship with Krishna. Then this automatically comes. He feels always protected by the Lord. No one else can challenge Krishna. And he has complete surrender. Krishna wants, he can do anything with me that he likes. I remember Acharya Maharaj. He was told once, to Govinda Maharaj, I am just your goat. If you want to cut my throat, if you want to cut my tail, you can do it. I am just coming to you like a goat. I told like that. Text number 8. Atyadameshu api bhagavan namo istadattatritvam satyam pravimi manuja swayam urdva bahur yo mukunda narstring janardhaneti tivoja patyadujam yan tivoja patyadudinam marane vaner praneva pashanakshata sadrishyaya tadat yabhistam. From Kurukshetra, King Kurukshetra. The holy name of the Lord bestows the most cherished objective upon even the most fallen soul. O human civilization, with arms upraised, I proclaim this truth. The holy name awards all desired success upon even stone or wooden-hearted persons, stone-hearted or wooden-hearted persons who, in the struggle for existence, constantly chant the Lord's name, such as Mukunda, Narasringa, and Janardhan. One song by Narottam Das Thakur You may have heard the Arma Karuna, Pahundui Jana. And one line there says, Pashu Pake Dure, Pashanalva Dure. Even the stone-hearted animal persons will dance. Even animals will dance. Even rocks will melt. Even animals will dance at the chanting of the holy name, when they hear the holy name. Holy name is not a mundane sound, a transcendental sound. It's said to be non-different by scriptures, to be non-different from Krishna himself. In the presence of Krishna, everything will become Krishnaized, spiritualized. They no longer maintain their material quality, but they're transformed by his presence. Krishna doesn't know anything but himself. He doesn't experience the material world as we do. He sees everything as spiritual, as his own self, his own transcendental self. And so in that kind of intensity of the Supreme Lord, everything becomes transformed, Krishnaized, into divinity, into divine substances. This kind of faith in the name, the holy name of the Lord, is very important. We have that kind of faith in the holy name, and non-different from Krishna. Then we can always be in connection, relation with Krishna, just by saying Hare Krishna. As soon as we chant Hare Krishna, we want to, if we're feeling abandoned or whatever, we just say Hare Krishna. And we have faith in the name that is non-different from Krishna. We will immediately feel some relief. We'll immediately feel that we're not alone, that we have our eternal relationship. If something is distracting us from Krishna, something mundane, if we get attached to something mundane means without relationship to Krishna, immediately devotee chants Hare Krishna to make his connection again with Krishna. It has that power, that potency to divert our attention from something mundane to something divine. But we have to have faith, we have to have confidence in that, and we have to have proper understanding of its potency, of its divine potency, which means we have to understand that it is not just a sound. It is actually Krishna, non-different in his sound incarnation, you could say. Krishna can incarnate in any way. He can incarnate as Guru. He can incarnate as the deity. He can incarnate as a name. He can incarnate as a devotee. They're all manifestations of the Lord, actually. All under his control. So simply by chanting Hare Krishna, we are in connection with Krishna. And this saves us from a lot of misdirection, being directed to non-Krishna things. I know when sometimes devotees come to me and they're saying, I'm having trouble thinking of all kinds of things. I can't remember Krishna. I don't feel I'm becoming Krishna conscious or whatever after so many practicing years. And I tell them, Krishna is only one thought away. Krishna is only one thought away. You're thinking of so many things, but if you just turn your thought to Krishna and say, Hare Krishna, and you think Hare Krishna, then immediately you solved all your problems. No more depressed, no more illusion, no more confused. Text number 9. Swasatrave Visadkati Dayako Hari Ho Bakiyam Snana Kalakutam Jikham Shaya Payayad Apyasad Vi Lebegatim Dat Yuchitam Tatodnayam Kam Vadayalam Tailam Sharanam Vajena Udava Imarudavasya. Sri Hari awards a divine destination to even his enemy. How astonishing when Putana, the wicked sister of Bakasura, tried to kill child Krishna by offering him deadly poison on her breast. She reached the position befitting the Lord's nursemaid. Could I ever have as merciful a shelter as that of Lord Krishna? So we all know that story, I think, of the witch Putana. She was sent by Kamsa to Mathura to kill Krishna, to trick him. She was sent there as a beautiful lady. And when she went there, all the ladies of Vrindavan were impressed by how beautiful this lady is. But she was actually a wicked witch underneath all that beauty. And she had the intention of killing Krishna by smearing some poison on her breast. And then the ladies, they were so impressed with her beauty, and she wanted to hold Krishna. She said, yes, you can hold him. You're such a beautiful lady. And very nice. When she held him and tried to breastfeed him, her intention was to kill him. But when Krishna began to suck her breast, he knew who she was. Within it, he already knew that this was a witch. So he began to suck her breast, and then he continued sucking until it became very painful for her. And he began sucking out her life force. And when she was in such distress, then she had to give up her appearance as a very beautiful woman, and she showed her real form as the witch Putana, a gigantic witch. And like that, he took out the life force of Putana, and she lay there like a big witch in a road. And everyone was so surprised. Oh, just see what happened. Krishna was so powerful. He destroyed the illusion of this so-called beauty, and showed what is really there, and killed her. Killed all her falseness, all her pride, all her evil. But Krishna did not condemn that Putana to hell. He thought, because she's coming to me, like a mother. She had some kind of nurturing instinct. And Bhutan also felt when she held Krishna a very motherly affection for him, actually. So because of this, Krishna gave her a high position, like Mother Yasoda. As one of his maidservants. He saw in her the good side, the positive side, not only the negative side. Beyond the negative, you could see inside the positive thing that was there. So Kulakshetra is praying to Krishna, look, you had this relationship with such a wicked person. And then so nice, so kind, so compassionate you were to such a wicked person. Then certainly you can be kind to me. I am also a more wicked person, a more evil person than Putana even. But if you show that kind of kindness to me, despite my wickedness, then I may be able to get some insignificant position at your lotus feet by your love, by your mercy, by your grace. This is the idea. Next verse, 10. Ayogyanam apyasa salam. Excuse me. Dharana Tatsyannadir Apari Harani Yaksha Mahato Vihinacharo Ham Nirpastor Asubhasyap Asubhasyaspadam Api Daya Sindo Bando Niravadika Vatsalya Jaladas Tavasmaran Smaram Guna Ganam Ichami Katabihi Immunacharya. The reservoir of hope for even the unqualified. O sea of compassion, I am no better than a wicked animal on 2 feet, the most incorrigible parasite, a beginningless and endless reservoir of the greatest inauspiciousness. Nonetheless, I abide in fearlessness, repeatedly remembering the divine qualities of you, the endless ocean of affection and supreme friend. The devotee is always down to earth. Doesn't think himself a pure devotee, just like that by thinking. He understands his weaknesses, his deficiencies, his weaknesses, his deficiencies, his disqualifications, and so forth. I'm realist about that. Doesn't mean that he doesn't have any love for Krishna. He doesn't have any aspiration for Krishna. Sometimes disqualifications, defects in ourselves, they make us long for Krishna more than if we think I have no defects. When we realize how fallen we are, we aspire even more. For the Lord's intervention, for the Lord's compassion, for the Lord's mercy. What is the question of mercy? Asking the Lord for his mercy if we feel that we are qualified to have his association. Because we feel unqualified, that we pray for mercy. When the criminal goes to the judge and the judge says, you have done this and this, and there are so many different crimes. Therefore, you have to be punished for these crimes. And the defendant may say, oh, Your Honor, I don't mean to do those things. Somehow I did them, but it's not my real heart. By the circumstances, I engage in those activities. And I have not I've done it by impulse, you could say. And I won't do it again because I've learned my lesson. Therefore, please have mercy on me. Don't give me what I deserve. Give me something less. Give me some encouragement to go on with doing good things. Then we can pray for mercy like that, because we deserve to be punished, but somehow we're requesting, don't give me that punishment. Let me apologize for what I have done, and forgive me for making a mistake. I'm, after all, only human, full of defects, and we make mistakes. But it is not really the deepest part of my heart to have done those things. So see that good part in me, and please give me some concession, acknowledgement of those parts, and I will try to improve. So like that, we have to approach Krishna. The Maharaja used to say, we don't want to approach the Department of Justice. We want the Department of Mercy. The spiritual kingdom has a Department of Justice, Yamaraj, and it also has a Department of Mercy, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we are approaching the Department of Mercy. Department of Justice will only be punished. Please don't use justice on me. Then I'm finished. Only if you give me your mercy. And then maybe I have a chance. And then only I have a chance. And one who has a good confidence in Krishna as a confidant, like I was saying, then he feels that Krishna will understand and will always give him mercy. Because I am working for Krishna, my intention is only for Krishna. And I don't have any hesitation in relying on Krishna and remembering him, despite my fallen condition in this world. What can I do? I am fallen into this world, but it doesn't mean that I don't have a relationship with my Lord. It's always there. So a devotee never lets his defects interfere with his or her relationship. with the Lord. Yes, defects are there. We try to avoid them. But at the same time, that doesn't take away from our relationship with Krishna. The eternal. Text number 11. Akshakrid aparadhinam api mochaka. Rahugavarayar ahustvam tadrisho vayasyasya pradata iti dayalur yasya chedyasya krishna atibhavam aparadur mudda sayujado bur adakim apadam agastasya desikam akramayaha. Again by Yamunacharya. The deliverer of even repeated offenders. O Lord of the Raghu dynasty, just for bowing his head to you, you were merciful upon that crow who was so offensive that he clawed at the breast of Sita Devi. O charming Krishna, you awarded the salvation emerging into your effulgence, so you mukti to Shishupal, who was an offender birth after birth. Now, I don't know the story of this crow. Adyananda, have you ever heard of this? Uma Devi, do you know what this is about?
Yes, Maharaja, you told me last time one time.
What was it? I don't remember.
A long time. Shant Maharaj also told one time.
What's that?
Shant Maharaj also told the story sometime.
Oh,
Shanta Maharaj told the
oh,
story.
Shanta Maharaj. Okay.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Sorry, Maharaj, I can't explain.
Well, the idea here is that even repeated offenders to the Lord, sometimes when a person goes to a judge and he asks for mercy, he says, "Look, this was just one time I did this. I won't do it again. Please forgive me for the offense, and don't punish me for whatever crime he committed. It was only a one-time thing." But then he goes to the judge the second time and says, "Look, I did the same thing again." And judge says, "Well, look, I gave you some mercy the first time, and you said you wouldn't do it again, but you did it again." He said, "Well, that was a slip. I've just been conditioned, so you kindly forgive me again." The judge may forgive the second time, but if you go a third time with the same offense, what do you think the judge will say? Well, it looks like you're not learning your lesson. Huh? The only thing I can do is give you a punishment. But Krishna is not like that. Even repeat offenders, he gives his mercy to if they request humbly and sincerely. Just the fact that you are sorry, are apologetic for what you have done, means that there's something more there than just an evil-hearted person. There's something good there. I want to do right, but somehow or other, by the circumstances, he does wrong. So just that sincere desire to be good, to please Krishna, that's enough. However many times you may fall down, get up again. You know, in the story of Jesus Christ, he was going up that mountain, they call it Golgotha, where they're going to crucify him. And he had to carry this heavy cross on his shoulders. And he was walking up, and they put some thorns on his head, and they were beating him and spitting at him and mocking him, calling him names, because they were treating him like a criminal. People tend to do that. Somebody who was different from themselves, they tend to mock and ridicule just because they're different. No matter what that difference is, even though Christ was trying to teach something very beautiful, to love one another. Nobody was teaching that, so they thought he was some kind of a weirdo, a criminal. Once the gossip got around, then they started thinking like that. Anyhow, in his way up through all that difficulty, traveling up on the mountain, he fell again and again and again. I think it was 14 times or so. Well, what did he do? He got up again. He got up again, and what was he doing? What was his destination? His destination was he going to be killed. Yet still he got up again and again to reach his destiny. So like that, we may fall again and again and again, but still we don't give up. And trying to attain our goal, loving service of Krishna. No amount of sacrifice is too much to get to that goal.
You want to hear something about that story?
Yes.
So while Lord Ramchandra and his brother Lakshman and Sita were exiled to the forest, one time Ram was fatigued and taking a nap in Sita's lap. And as that happened, this crow came and attacked her and clawed at her breast. And that woke Ram up, and he saw the claws dripping blood, and he wanted to kill the crow. But then the crow bowed to him sometime later, and so he forgave the crow's offense.
The Ramayana?
It's in the Ramayana, and Prabhupada also spoke about it. And Prabhupada mentioned this verse by Immortality when he spoke about it.
Okay.
He said, once Indra, the king of heaven, assumed the form of a crow. So, this is, some versions say it was the son of Indra. Some versions say it was Indra himself. So once Indra, the king of heaven, assumed the form of a crow and attacked Sita by striking her on the breast. This was certainly an insult to the universal mother Sita, and Lord Ramchandra was immediately prepared to kill the crow. But because later on the crow bowed down before the Lord, he excused his offense. Sri Yamunacharya further says in his prayer that the forgiving power of Lord Krishna is even greater than Lord Ramchandra, because Sripad was always in the habit of insulting Krishna, not only one time, but continually throughout 3 lives. So,
Very good. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, so on the next page it says, now please tell me, is there any offense that cannot be pardoned by you? I remember another story of one of Srila Prabhupada's sannyasis. I think his name was Achyutananda, I'm not sure. But anyhow, one of Prabhupada's sannyasis was preaching in South India. And there the Smarta Brahmanas are there, huh? Brahmanas who follow very strict principles of Vedic injunctions. And so he was preaching there about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they were telling him, you can't chant Hare Krishna. That you're a Malecha, you come from a Malecha country, you've done so many bad things. You're not qualified to chant the holy name and to preach about the holy name or about the Vedas. We can't accept anything that you're saying. You're a meat eater. You were a meat eater. Therefore, you're a despicable person. So, anyhow, so he told him, he said, you mean the chanting of the holy name is not strong enough to dispel even meat eating? Dispel the sins of a meat eater? The holy name doesn't have that much power. You think like that? Nothing is more powerful than the holy name. Meat eating is not more powerful than the holy name. Killing is not more powerful than the holy name. Anything. The holy name can forgive anything because it is the supermost powerful thing. He told him like that. All right, thanks. Well, Raganagata Helanam Tasvin Asambhavam Abutta Purva Nama Bhavikimba Sarvam Sahayipe Sahajam Hikudukam Kintu Trod Agre Karnagatanam Prabhavo Natanate Nurupa Immortality. It's impossible for him to neglect his surrendered devotee. O Lord, after all, what unprecedented trials may befall me now? I can tolerate anything and everything, no doubt. Unhappiness is my natural companion. Nonetheless, it will not become you. It will not become you to allow the neglect of your surrendered soul who now stands before you. In this way, devotee is pleading with his Lord. Unhappiness is my natural companion. I'm always suffering. Just now telling the Lord, I'm always suffering. This is my natural state in this world. Suffering at every turn. Body is causing problems. The society is causing problems. The environment is causing problems. I'm always facing difficulties. My mind is causing me problems. I'm problem-ridden. I'm overcome with problems. Is this the condition you want to see your devotee in? Telling to Krishna. You know, if one actually has that mood, we will find that devotee will become peaceful. Krishna will listen to such a prayer and give peace, shanti, joy even. He will. He overcomes that situation. But we have to just remember Krishna in those circumstances. And tell him, look, this is my situation. You want to see me like this? I'm your devotee. How am I going to serve you like this? A little difficult. You want to give me some peace of mind, then I can serve you very nicely, sweetly, and go on. It's like cultivating my Krishna consciousness. So that type of prayer has its power, has its effect. But we have to remember that, that's all. Text number 13. Ahir anyata pradarshrayato pi swarupata palakatvam. Nirashakasyapti natavad utsaha sahe maheshatum tava pada pankajam prasadarastopi sishu stanan tayo najatu matus charano trihasati. He is our natural guardian. Even externally, he shows otherwise. Almighty Lord, even if you make me hopeless, I can never leave your lotus feet in any condition. If the mother becomes angry and separates her child from her breast, does the child thereby leave the feet of his mother? The Maharaja used to talk about hope beyond hope. Sometimes we feel hopeless. And despite that hopelessness, we still feel some hope that I can get the shelter of Krishna. It's necessary. You know that saying? That faith can move mountains? I think, well, it's impossible to move a mountain with faith. What strange kind of faith does a devotee have? That he doesn't let anything interfere with that faith. He never gives up faith, never gives up hope. Even though it's impossible to make a connection with the Supreme, or the finite to make a connection with the Supreme Infinite. It seems impossible. But always maintaining a good, faithful heart, he always tries to serve. And of course, it's much easier when we have Gurudev there. We don't have to keep thinking of the infinite and finite. Think of our beloved Gurudev and how to serve, how to please. And then everything becomes very simple, practical. Okay. Any questions, comments? Hare
Hare Krishna Maharaj, one question.
Yes.
Maharaj, you said we should not let fear come in the way of our relation with Krishna when we talk about defect. Maharaj, could you please elaborate that? I wanted to understand that more.
What did you say?
You were talking about how fear of our defects fear of our personal defects, the effects of our personal defects.
Yeah.
We should not let the fear of those things come in the way with our relationship with Krishna. Can you elaborate on that point?
Well, that's called conviction. Conviction or faith. Conviction or faith is, you know Krishna is there. And you know you're a servant of Krishna. And nothing else matters. Nothing else counts. Nothing else has significance. Once your heart is totally convinced, has total faith that Krishna is there and that you are the servant of Krishna. That's called faith. And that's the only thing. When that becomes so much, you become so much certain of that, then anything else is secondary. All right, so this is there, that is there, this, that, the other things. Those are secondary things. The primary thing is, I am a servant of Krishna, Krishna is there, and I'm trying to do my best to serve and love him. And this is the center of my focus. This is the center of my life, the most meaningful thing in my heart. And all the rest is garbage. Coming to mere as just some mere kind of distraction, like an insect coming to bite you. These are all insects trying to disturb my concentration. I remember once Prabhupada said flies, he was talking about flies. They were buzzing around him, and devotees were trying to get the flies to stop bothering him. And Prabhupada made a remark. He said, these flies are like naughty children. They're always trying to bother him. He saw it in such a compassionate way. Devotees were so angry, they were thinking, all these flies are bothering Srila Prabhupada. Kill them, whatever. He said, no, they're just naughty children. So like that. All these things that bother us. Everything depends on how we think about things. Once a quote from Shakespeare, he said, what was that again? said something like, nothing is good and nothing is bad except how we think about them. Except that thinking makes it so. So we have to be very conscious of how we're thinking about things and not let our thoughts dominate us. Thoughts of non-Krishna thoughts dominate us. But always be in control of our thoughts, that they're always directed toward Krishna, no matter what the situation. That's yoga. Control your mind, control your thoughts. Anyhow, we try. And like I said, our secret weapon to control our thoughts is always the Harinam, the holy name. Whenever our thoughts are wandering away to other things, we just say Hare Krishna and bring our thoughts back to Krishna. Hare
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Beautiful answer.
Krishna. All right, my dandavats to all of you. Please be safe, please be well. We always remember Krishna. My love to you all. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Tandavat pranam devotee.